Tail testing audio. Take 4621.
Okay, Agent Alex, you need to press the red button.
Agent Fleurble, I am pressing the Wait, was it not the green button?
Oh, maybe just press all of the buttons.
Yes, good idea. All of the buttons. 3, 2, 1.
The Black Death in Kiev.
Sam Alex was in bed. In her dreams, she held the trophy high above her head, beaming with pride as the mayor placed the medal around her neck. But just as she reached her favourite bit, her alarm rang.
Oh, just a dream. Never mind. Another day begins. I have a city to protect.
Sam shoveled Weetabix into her mouth, the cold milk waking her up as she thought about her day ahead. Catching criminals, stopping wars, looking out for bad guys. Soon enough, she was in her uniform patrolling the streets, her police badge shining in the sun. Kiev was a big city. Hotels, shopping malls and train stations crammed together in busy streets with tall apartment buildings over 23 levels high, gigantic skyscrapers, tall mosques, all jostling for position. Sam Alex knew the city well. It was her city, and she was going to protect it whatever the cost. Brave and smart, the baddies knew to keep out of her way. It wasn't long before she set to work.
Give me your money, or else.
You beast!
You're under arrest.
Oh, man! No, thank you, officer.
It was just as she rounded the corner past the old fancy buildings with their huge arches and epic rooftops that Sam Alex felt that something was wrong. The normally busy streets were deserted. She called out.
Hello?
But there was no one there. It was eerie. The hair on the back of her neck rose up. She rounded another corner and noticed a huddle of people standing together, coughing. They looked feverish. Sam Alex walked on and came to a hospital. What she saw made her gasp. People were queuing around the block to get in. Doctors stood with head in hands as people poured out of the doors, covered in strange black spots, coughing, sick and poorly. People reduced to skeletons, slumped zombie-like in doorways.
Are those babos?
Normally, Sam Alex was confident, heroic even, but now her courage was to be really tested. Her brain began to whir.
Coughing, feverish, babos. Could it be the dragon of Black Death?
She'd learnt about it in school. 90% of Europe wiped out by the plague. Well, it wasn't going to happen in her city. Not today. Quickly, she sprang into action. Sprinting through the city streets, she scattered rat traps everywhere. Already she could see the furry creatures scuttling in doorways. Sam Alex set off alarms in every building, ushering nervous people into the daylight behind her and away from the carriers of the plague.
Follow me! This way! To the underground bunkers!
The people of Kiev followed the speedy police officer, chasing after her as fast as their legs could carry them. She ushered them in one by one, whispering words of encouragement. The whole city was there, all together, from kings and queens to wrestlers, shopkeepers to YouTubers.
You know, if you really want to make some money, then you can...
Look after each other, I'll be back.
She called out, closing the huge metal door with a final clang, and leapt off into the darkening evening. She had one more job to do. The laboratory door was shut. Inside, men and women in white lab coats scurried around, looking at things under microscopes. Sam Alex banged on the door so hard it nearly came off its hinges. A bespectacled face appeared.
Now, see here, we're very busy inside experimenting to make unmeltable chocolate. What do you...
If you don't do this now, you might get the disease too.
Oh,
No, it's going to affect me. You'll have to get something.
Quick, Tim, put that chocolate away. We've got to find a cure.
3 to 4 weeks later, Sir stood on a podium, beaming with pride. She held a trophy in her hands. It was silver, and her name was engraved on the side. The faces of all those in the city she had saved smiled back at her. It felt amazing, and this time, it wasn't a dream.
Well done. And from all of us, thank you.
The medal fit perfectly round her neck, and it felt good.